So there's your lockers. Those of you who are asking about lockers, those have been assigned and updated to your schedules. And so if you go to fax and check your schedule again, that information should be there. When you come down to the schedule itself, you'll see that it's divided up into basically two different schedules. You have Monday, Tuesday, and Friday that are the same schedule. And then Wednesday and Thursday are different. Those are our block days, which I can explain in just a second. On the left-hand side, you'll see all of the times for the classes. The school building will open at 7:30. So your kids can arrive at that time at 7:30. But school does not start until 8:25. So 8:25 is the first bell, and we go to 3:15. That's when we get out. So it shows you period by period over here, and your classes are in these cells here, and the red number is the room number. So first period, she has English from 8:25 to 9:07 in room 124. If you want to see what the teachers, who are the teachers of those classes, you just come up here and you see English 124. That's Emily Solinger, Miss Solinger. So like I said, you have the same schedule. Kids will have a 9-period day on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. And then on Wednesday and Thursday, we have block schedule. So Wednesday, you will have half your classes, and Thursday, you'll have half your classes. So on this schedule, it can maybe look a little confusing because there are a lot of things that you could just cross out and not pay attention to. The first thing that I want to draw your attention to, though, is families. So more information will be coming out about what houses are and families are. But real quick, everyone in the school, students and staff, are a part of a certain house in the school. And that's kind of your community that you do a lot of things with. And within that house, everybody's divided up into different families. And every day we have time with our families. And 9 through 12 has their families, and 7, 8 will have our own families. And every day for just a few minutes, we get together and we pray, or we play a little game. We get to know each other, do a little devotion, something like that. But that's a consistent thing that we do every single day, is we get together with our families in our houses, and we do community building things and build each other up. So that's what family time is. By the time school starts, 7th and 8th graders, you guys will have information in these blocks that will tell you where to go, who your teacher is, and what house you're in. So you'll see the house, and then you'll see the teacher, and then the room number, and that will be updated just in the next couple days. So we'll give you a heads up when that's available, and you can look at that. 9th graders, you guys won't find out until the first day of school what house you're in and what family you're in. So you'll have to wait a little bit. That's been kind of a tradition in 9 through 12, that it's a little bit of a surprise. And so the 9 through 12 teachers still want to do that and kind of keep the suspense going a little bit longer. So you'll know on the first day of school where you're going, but until then, you'll have to wait. Monday, Tuesday, Friday, same schedule. So you come down here to period 3, and here's where it gets a little confusing. You'll see lunch A, period 5A, period 5C, lunch C. Those are all blank. If anything is blank, that means that nothing is scheduled for you during that period. So you can cross that out. What's going on in that schedule is we have 3 different lunch periods. And so we have 3 different bell schedules for periods 4, 5, and 6. So my daughter, Brenna, she has class 4th period, while other people might have lunch, and that'll be lunch A, and that'll be clearly marked on your schedule. She has lunch 5th period, which is lunch B, which means she doesn't have class. Other people might have class, which would be in this 5A or 5C row there. So all 7th and 8th graders have lunch B. All 7th and 8th graders have 5th period lunch. 9th graders, you could have 4th, 5th, or 6th period lunch. Just look at your schedule. If it says lunch A, that's 4th period, lunch B, 5th period, lunch C, 6th period. We'll all have to get used to the bells that are going off at different times during those periods. And we'll get used to that together as we learn which bells are for which group of students. Period 6, we have Bible. And Bible for 7th grader is a shared course. And so Mr. Klutz, Mr. Price, Mr. Bacher, and Mr. Heath are all sharing that course. So your 7th grade child will have each of those teachers for 1 quarter. And then you see down here, you have 7th, 8th, and 9th period. If you look at Wednesday and Thursday, those are your block schedules. So what you want to do is kind of maybe even if you print it out, draw a box around Wednesday and Thursday, because it's a completely different bell schedule, completely different format. So you're not going to want to pay attention to the periods on the left or the times. Those wouldn't apply to Wednesday and Thursday. So like I said, Wednesday you have half your classes, and Thursday you have the other half. And those periods are a little bit longer, which is really great for labs or writing workshops or projects. And then in the middle here, you'll see we have this time set aside that's really community-based. It's based on spiritual development and relationship building. There's time for families, and there's time for chapel, and there's time for assemblies. And then there's time for lunch. So all 7th and 8th graders eat lunch together on Wednesday and Thursday, and all 9 through 12 eat lunch together on Wednesday and Thursday. So even if 9th graders, even if you don't have lunch with your friends on Monday, Tuesday, Friday, you'll see them on Wednesday and Thursday. So that is how block schedule works. They're longer periods. You'll have period 1 and 4 or 5, depending on what your lunch is, 7 and 9 on Wednesday, and you'll have 2, 3, 5, or 6, depending on what your lunch is, and 8 on Thursday. So I'm sure that as you talk to your kids about this, or you're going over it before school starts, you'll have questions. Please feel free to reach out to me, email me, call me, and we'll make sure you guys have all that information to be able to do that. I'd love to help you just walk through the schedule with you or answer any questions you have. If you're in need of schedule changes, you can also contact me, and we'll get you taken care of. If you have questions for tonight, make sure you put them in the chat, and we'll try to answer those tonight. Back to you, Buzz.
All right, Andrew, thank you very much. Andrew's a graduate of Worthington Christian High School, as is Tim Kraynak. I'm a public school boy. I came from Bexley High School. I graduated in the last century. But Tim and I worked together for a number of years at WC. Tim had one of my boys when he was teaching 5th grade in the elementary school. We've been friends a long time, and I've enjoyed working with him. We've gotten to really appreciate Andrew in these weeks we've been working together too, because he's amazing. I got to unmute Tim. I thought I had unmuted everybody. All right. Let's see here. Tim, are you unmuted now? I can't believe this. Our well-run, well-oiled program that we rehearsed is falling apart in our very eyes here. Okay, Tim, you should be unmuted.
You unmuted me.
Oh, I unmuted everybody. I'm so concerned here. This is turning into an epic fail. Let's see here.
I'll come back over.
Okay, someone come over and help me again, because this isn't working. Anyway, Tim's great, and if you could ever hear him, he'll be fantastic. See, there's an unmuted all. All participants are unmuted.
Let's find Tim. We can type his name in.
Okay, let's see what we do here. Sorry, folks. There he's on.
There we go.
Oh, we got him. All right, buddy. Sorry. Okay, everybody. It's Tim Kraynak now. He's going to talk to you a little quickly about college counseling, and also give you a little bit of insight as to the use of Microsoft Teams and things like that. Go ahead.
Quickly Tim. Is the key word there. One of the things that I said to Buzz before the meeting was he usually loves to work a crowd in a big room, and we're bound by the computer and Zoom. And he took way less time than he has in the past 9 years to do his spiel. So you're all blessed. And you heard many fewer jokes as a result of that. But let me introduce myself quickly. My name is Tim Kraynak, and I am a 94 grad of Worthington Christian. And the one amazing thing that the three of us, Andrew, myself, and Buzz, have in common, and I wonder what the odds would be on this, we all have 5 kids between us. So Buzz, all of his kids are grown and gone. My kids are kind of in that stage. My oldest is a senior. I have twins that are in 5th grade this year. And then I have a daughter in 8th grade and a daughter who will be a sophomore. And Andrew's kind of in that physically grueling stage because I believe his oldest daughter is a 7th grader. So 15 kids between all 3 of us. And all of that to say, we love kids. We love the fact that we're going to be back in the building. It's not the same being with you on a Zoom call tonight as it would be being in person, but certainly we'll take it. And Lord willing, everything will kind of fall into place as we prepare for the first day of school next week. As I was sending an email this evening to the rising senior class, one of the things that I do in my role, not only am I an assistant principal, but I'm also the college counselor. So I spend a good deal of time with rising juniors and seniors, advising them and helping them plan and prepare for the college process. And as I sent an email today, I said to the parents that when your kids step foot in the school next week, it will have been 185 days since they've been in the classroom and the teachers have actually taught. And it's pretty incredible and remarkable in the times that we're living in. And it's an awesome responsibility that we certainly don't take lightly, to mentor, to disciple, to educate, and really train up your kids. And we're very much looking forward to it. There's still much to be done. But Lord willing, the preparations and the planning that we're making will allow this to be the safest, most productive place that your kids can be, hopefully for a long time. And so we would all join in one another and say that we would covet your prayers as we still have much to do. And we just pray that you guys and your students are ready for that first day back to school. I mean, it's going to be a whirlwind, and I'm sure that everyone's going to be exhausted after those first 2 days, and we're going to need that weekend. But it's a privilege to serve all of you and to serve your students. And for you, I don't know if there's any students on this call, but we're very much looking forward to seeing you in person. I think probably this is the most anticipated start of the school year in the history. I think a lot of kids are very, very excited to come back to school and see their friends, see their teachers, and just kind of feel a sense of normalcy, so to speak. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about college. So when your kiddos get to be juniors and seniors, we have a robust platform called Naviance, and we use that as a college search engine, and we do a lot of really good things with that platform. We have some other resources available as well too. And what I'd like to say about teams is not a whole lot, but obviously last year when we went to remote learning, we had to pivot very quickly. We were kind of in the emergency remote learning phase. And I think everybody was just kind of scratching and clawing to get by, you parents, the students, the teachers, administration as well too. But now that we've had some time to think and digest, one of the things that we're going to be very intentional about this school year is trying to migrate everything to Teams, so that if we do have to pivot, we'll be ready. And in fact, next week, we're going to be training our upper school teachers on some of the best practices and tips in Microsoft Teams, so that out of the gate, they will feel comfortable, more confident in delivering that content, both in person as well as remote if we have to. And we've done a lot of research in terms of providing them the proper equipment to be able to execute those remote learning lessons if we get to that point. So I would just say again that we are very much looking forward to the start of the school year. It's been a privilege to serve with Buzz over the last 9 years. This will be my 21st year at Worthington Christian, which is hard to believe. And really, it's been great to develop a working relationship with Andrew. And there's a lot of cohesion between the three of us. And so I'm looking forward to the culture and the environment that the Lord is going to allow us to create, and how you're going to partner with us and how we're going to partner together to train and disciple your kids in terms of building God's kingdom. So really, that's all I have. And I'm going to turn it back over to Buzz, and we can probably start this tour sometime soon.
I'm going to give you guys a chance to scramble and get into your places. And in just a minute, we'll begin our walk through the building. And since everything else has gone so flawlessly, this just ought to be fantastic as we try this. But one thing I do want to just, let not your heart be troubled when we have this soft opening on Thursday and Friday. All your kids will be here Thursday. Just come, drop them off. We'll send all the information about all that stuff. But it's going to go really, I trust it'll go well. And this will be the time we experience all our bumps and bruises and figure out what planning was good and what planning was bad. And we'll be able to adjust and evaluate. And if everyone just has and just encourage your kids to have a good attitude, because everybody's new and nobody's got a way they've always done it. And absolutely no one will fit in. So there's just no anxiety. It's a great time to be new because everyone's new, and we're all working to figure it out together. So that'll be fun, and it'll be a start of school that'll never ever be repeated again at the upper school, because there's never another first time. So I suppose by this time, Andrew is in place. Andrew's outdoors. He's going to show you the main entry. I'll give you a little bit word about driving in, and we'll show you how the day might get started. Andrew, you with us?
Hey, Buzz. All right, we'll see how this goes. So I am outside of the gymnasium entrance. It's kind of loud out here, so I don't know if you can hear me. Hopefully you can. But this will be the main entrance when you arrive at school in the morning. This is where you're going to want to enter. Right on the other side is the commons, where students will meet in the morning before school. Like I said, the school building is open at 7:30, and school starts at 8:25. So if you're here before 8:25, you're going to want to come into the commons. Let me walk in here and show you. So the commons is just our big space right when you come in those main doors, and you'll come in here and there'll be tables set up, and you can hang out here, or the main gym is to our right. That will be open as well for before school.
All right. Let me real quickly just put a map up here just so we can orient and see where everybody is. Nope. Never mind. I was going to put a map up here, but just as I thought. Anyway, let's go to Tim right now. And Tim, you are right now in the main hallway downstairs in the DeArmy part of the building. Show us what's going on there, please.
Not really. I'm looking at that beautiful
oh, look at
horizon over there. Yeah, so I'm actually in front of the school entrance. So if the students were to come in this way, I could actually sneak through this door that has no glass, but I won't do that. Bob in here. Nice new WC logoed carpet entrance there. And one of the things that you'll notice is, I don't know if you can see it, so I'll kind of pan right here. We've got these directional arrows. So we have directional hallways, and we've worked really hard to map those out and walk it out with the student's schedule. And so right over here, as the students walk in to the right, this is the intervention room. And I'll keep traveling down this hallway. So we've got a directional arrow that tells us to turn right. And this is the entrance, one of the entrances to the brand new upper school. So I'm going to kind of walk slowly so that you don't get dizzy. And you can see we got another directional arrow right there. And I'll just kind of stop right here and show you this great collaborative space. We've got these tables with great chairs, and they're rolling tables, rolling furniture in here so kids can move them around. We got great windows for natural sunlight. And this is kind of a space where kids can come and sit, talk, collaborate, work. And over here, you'll see this connection to the media center has kind of a garage type door that can go up, and it can also come down for more of a quiet workspace. And then over here, just to my left, you'll see the courtyard. So there's also an entrance on the opposite side, and this is where the students can pass through During lunch, I would open the door, but I can't actually open it from this side because it's locked. But during lunch, the kids can come out here and they can eat, they can hang out. And this will be a really great space for them to congregate and just be together. One more thing before I turn it back over to Buzz. I'm going to peek in here, and this is Mrs. Seacrest. She is the school counselor. How you doing, Mrs. Seacrest?
I'm great.
And there's her extremely good-looking husband, Andy. So this is Mrs. Seacrest's office, Grand Canyon University. And over here we have 2 new offices. These will be kind of math lab / tutoring spaces. Mr. Story and Mrs. Fisher will be in here as well too, and also Mrs. Smith sometimes.
Thanks, Tim. You know, some of you are saying that the screens are small, and I got to tell you, I'm really confused because, like I said, I've got Troy's deluxe thing here because we thought maybe more than 100 might come. And I feel like the guy in the Bible that put out the banquet and only a few people showed up. But we could have used my old one that I know how to drive, and I hadn't anticipated this difficulty, and I haven't the slightest idea how to activate this so that when the person is speaking, their screen pops up and gets big. So if some of you are veteran Zoom users with the fancy pants deluxe I have to pay for it interface, I would really appreciate a little coaching from somebody. You can see a bigger screen if you select speaker view rather than gallery view. All right, so there, I see myself large, which is disconcerting. But now to my look, do you all pick speaker view and do you see me large? It is disconcerting, isn't it? Nod your head, yes. I'm working on it. But anyway, let's move over. Let's go back to Andrew and see if now he'll be large. Okay, he's in one of the back halls and he's moving toward the training room and the weight room. Go ahead, Andrew.
So another part of the new construction that we just wanted to show you is a expanded training room facility. This is in the hallway, the athletic nurses. We have space for kids to train, get treatment from our physical trainer, and we have the training room in here. Then we also have a brand new weight room that has all new equipment that we're really excited about. So I wanted to show you this part of our new building as well. Back to you, Buzz.
Okay, have we fixed our problem? Are you all able to see it now? Nod some heads, I see some of you. Yes, no? Can you see the screen large now? Have we fixed that? Okay, good. All right, Tim, you're near the media center, I think. Show us what's going on over there today.
Yes, sir. So as I pass in here, you can see the huge ceilings. There's a ton of space in here, and they just installed the shelves today, which will be great for storage. And if I just walk over here slowly, you got some great furniture for the kids to kind of just sit out here. You got a great view of the parking lot and the athletic facilities right over here with the brand new field turf that's still being installed. Lots of windows and natural lighting in here as well. So this is a really great space to gather, to come and get some good work done. Over here, we have workstations along the side of the wall with computers. So during a study hall, if kids want to sign out and take advantage of the media center, they can certainly do that. This is the entrance over here to that quieter workspace where I showed you walking through the hallway that has the garage door. And I won't open this door, but inside here is a legitimate broadcasting room. And they're still setting that up with great acoustics. And that's going to be a huge upgrade from where we were in the last couple years. Mr. Stoll and Brian Bayless did an excellent job with what they had, but this is a huge blessing for them to be able to pull off our Channel 3 broadcast, which is, that's the way that we communicate often with our students during the course of the day, assemblies, chapels, things of that nature. So I'm going to exit the media center and just show you one more thing before I turn it back over to Buzz. We now have an elevator. So not all students have access to this, but if they are injured or if there's a special circumstance and they have trouble getting from one floor to the next, we can certainly fob them in with access, which will be very, very nice instead of them having to walk up the steps. So.
All right, like they always say, some people get the elevator and some people get the stairs. So next, Andrew, you're up in the, I'm having Tim and Andrew do this, by the way, because if I was the one doing it, there'd be so much huffing and puffing, you'd never be able to hear what else was being said. But Andrew, you are upstairs now in the science area, are you not? No.
I am not.
No, you are not. You're in the middle school hallway. There you go.
There we
All
are.
right.
So yes, this hallway is directly in front of the school entrance that Tim came in earlier, and most 7th and 8th grade teachers will be in this hallway. So if we walk down here, excuse our mess, we're still getting things ready. We'll see computer carts and things, but some 9th grade classes are in this hallway as well. Abby Palmer, who teaches 8th and 9th grade English. You have Mr. Colley, who teaches 7th and 8th grade social studies. You have Mr. Klutz, who teaches 7th and 8th grade Bible. You have Mrs. Solinger, Ms. Solinger, who teaches 7th and 8th grade language arts, and Mrs. Powell, who teaches pre-algebra and algebra. And here's an example of just one of the rooms in this hallway that is mostly set up and ready to go. Mrs. Powell's been in here working hard. So most of these classrooms will look similar to this.
Thank you, Andrew. Tim, show us a couple classrooms downstairs.
Sure. So I just left the media center and I'm walking down the first floor hallway. You can see the directional arrow there. These classroom spaces are predominantly for 9th through 12th graders. On the right-hand side, we've got world languages, social studies. On the left-hand side, we have Christian studies. So I'll step into Mrs. Mikulek's room. Mi casa es tu casa. So as you can see, we come in here, and this is going to be the basic setup for all of these classrooms in the upper school wing. Each student will have their own table, obviously a chair to sit in, and the teacher's got some really nice storage space back there with some shelving units, new desks, new podiums. All of these classrooms in the upper school on the first floor have 4 windows, so they got great natural sunlight, and we will be installing blinds as well in these rooms too. And brand new whiteboards and projectors that have touchscreen capability and touch pen capability as well too. So some really nice technology upgrades in these classrooms, and a hand sanitizer dispenser will be placed in each room. So as the students enter and exit, they can pump some hand sanitizer and make sure they're doing their best to prevent the spread. And we'll just keep walking down this hallway, and I'll take you into one more classroom. This will be Dr. Price's. Dr. Price teaches junior Bible. He also teaches Hebrew. And as you can see, the room is pretty much set up the same way. Hopefully he'll put some more decorations on the walls to make things a little bit more lively. But if not, oh well. And on the opposite side here, in these windows, you have a view to the courtyard as well too. So you got a lot of nice views and a lot of great natural sunlighting throughout the entire building.
Thanks, Tim. Andrew, by now you're upstairs in the labs. We're pretty excited about our new labs. Take a look at and be amazed. Go ahead, Andrew.
Yes, so upstairs is where all the science labs will be. So every science class is upstairs, as well as our technology lab and a space for our business classes. So any science class that you see will be upstairs. I'm going to take you into a couple. This is Mrs. Wood's classroom, who teaches 8th grade science and 9th grade biology. So all of you will have her at some point over the next couple years. And these tables just arrived today, so we're happy that we got these nice big tables for our science labs. We have these windows. I don't know if we can see it. We'll see if we can. But these windows, these guys have the best view of the whole school up here. They have a view of the field. It's kind of dark, so you can't see it, but this is going to be a really great space for our science teachers. Right next door is Mrs. Gilliland's class. Ms. Gilliland teaches 7th and 8th grade science. So here's her classroom. Similar setup, getting the chairs and everything set up as well. But if you're a 7th through 9th grader, you will either have Mrs. Wood or Mrs. Gilliland in one of these 2 classrooms upstairs.
Well, that's all pretty exciting. Those labs are just amazing spaces. The pictures don't do them justice, but it's moved Worthington Christian in the 21st century. We're working on some relationships with Ohio State University. We'll be able to join them in some research, and it's going to be some great opportunities for our students to roll up their sleeves and play in the big leagues and do some really significant stuff. Apparently, what we may be able to be involved in is helping some of the PhD students and things replicate certain experiments that are discussed in studies. So some of the simpler things, we can work at the replication and make sure that the studies are legit and the data that they've gotten from those demonstrations and experiments are good to build on for further work. So we thank Kelly McHale for that. She's working to forge those relationships with Ohio State. So Tim, you are down now, I believe, around the choir room and the 2D art room and the ceramics room. These 2 are fantastic spaces. Have a look, everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these are just huge upgrades and just a tremendous blessing. I saw a couple parents in there commenting in the chat about what a blessing for the kids and for you all as well. And we thank you for the sacrifices that you make to send your kids here. Many sacrifices. So I'm going to step into this choir room here, choir band room. And as you can see right here, we've got a beautiful brand new curtain. And so for all of you avid weightlifters or fitness people who love to watch yourself work out in mirrors, we can pull that thing back and we've got mirrors back there. And so the kids can see themselves when they're performing and what they look like. So that's going to be a really added benefit. This is just a much more functional space than we've had in the past. These double doors right here, some storage space. This middle door right here is kind of like a private studio where students can go and they can work on voice lessons or they can work on playing their instruments. In our old life, we had to kind of peruse the building and find whatever spaces we could. But this is a much more secluded private space that's conducive to what these guys and gals and instructors are going to do. And back here, this is an office here for Mrs. Klepeek. And as you can see, here's her piano. And she's got a great curtain barrier here. So if she's playing the piano and somebody's singing, we've got a nice curtain type barrier there for her and for the students as well. So as we exit, we're going to come in here to Mrs. Heisty and Mrs. England's art room. So this is the 2D art room. This is a massive upgrade. Tons of space in here. But as you can see, they're using every square foot of space possible. So this is kind of these are the workstations for the students, socially distanced. And in the back, what we have is these are kind of studios for the AP students. And on the back sides, they have their workstations. So I'll kind of walk you over here to those. This little tree. And you can't see out here, but there are 2 sets of 4 windows that look out to the athletic facilities as well here. So a lot of great natural sunlight. So this is what one of the AP Art studios looks like for these kiddos. It's just, when you walk through these rooms, it's just very refreshing. And it feels, one of the things that the kids say as they tour the building is, wow, this actually feels like a real school. So those are all great things to hear. And I know the teachers are excited about being in these new spaces as well too. And we have just a huge art display case here where we can put all of the artwork, the ceramics work, so we can really display all of the wonderful things that our kids are able to do. So as the kids walk by, they can appreciate the hard work of their peers. If we continue down this hallway, maybe the piece de resistance. If you've ever been in our old ceramics room at the old high school, man, was it cramped. And so this is just a much more functional space here. Let me try to turn these lights on. Oh, just turn them off. There we go. So we've got 16 seats available in this room, and we've got our our wheels over here. Plenty of space for storage, and in the back we have 3 sinks, all that have clay traps for proper drainage. And right here we have the Mac Daddy of them all, the Escalade of kilns. We have a brand new kiln, so we have not 1 but 2 kilns now that Mrs. Galbraith can fire up. So a lot of great things happening back here in the performing/fine arts wing of the upper school.
Well, let's go upstairs again with Andrew, and he'll take a look at the technology room and one of the chemistry labs.
Yeah, so this is our last stop on the tour here. We just want to take you inside the new technology lab. And before I do that, I just want to give a quick shout out to our teachers. Tim mentioned it, but our teachers are working in this building around the clock right now, trying to get things ready to go for school. Mrs. Kane just left a few minutes ago. She was setting up these new computers. And that's just the kind of hard work that these teachers are putting in. And they're so dedicated and so ready for the kids to come back. And they are excited to see everybody. So just want to give a quick shout out to our teachers who are working super hard to get everything ready for school to start. So our technology lab is also upstairs, right next to our science labs. And this will have 7th and 8th grade. We'll have computer class up here. As well as all the high school technology classes, engineering, robotics, all of those will all be in this room. And then right across the hall, once you get it up into 10th through 12th grade, you'll kind of graduate to these upgraded science labs that are more suited for chemistry and anatomy and physiology and physics and some of these just more extensive science courses that we offer for 10 through 12. This is Mrs. Burns's room right across the hall. So that concludes the upstairs tour.
Well, I was just in Mrs. Burns's room yesterday, and it bore no resemblance to that. What an impressive job she's done in the last couple of days of putting that room together. That's amazing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are nearing the 9 o'clock mark, but we will be happy to entertain any questions that you might have. And I don't see really too much in the chat space, and I suppose that's a good sign. Either that or we've just lost you all. But thank you for your help early on, whoever Christy is. That wouldn't be my cousin's husband, Christy, would it? But in any case, thank you so much for helping me get a handle on this interface here. What questions do you have? We're here. I think you all have the ability to unmute yourselves now and ask away. And Tim and Andrew will be glad to answer.
Yeah, so it looks like we've got one in the chat room about 7th grade lunch periods. Do they have choices where to eat or still in the commons? And I'll wait till Andrew gets back and he can kind of correct me if I'm wrong, but we chatted about this. We're going to try to keep those kids in the commons area as much as we possibly can. But we've also designated some hallway space. Andrew, I'm talking about lunch for 7th graders. So before I misspeak, why don't you just go ahead and take the question? They're wondering if they have to still stay in the commons or are there other places that they can eat?
Yeah, so the 7th and 8th graders will stay mainly in the commons. We're still trying to work out some of the logistics here. We love our new building, but we're going to have a lot of kids on this campus, and so we're trying to not only find good places for everybody to eat, but also make sure we're social distancing and keeping everybody safe. So more than likely, 7th and 8th grade will be in the commons for lunch. And then the 9th through 12th grade will be in other locations.
Yeah, I might add one of the values that we have here is, in a sense, whenever possible, maximum freedom to give the students the opportunity to display maximum responsibility. We really believe that we get out of students what we expect. And while there may be a few people that will disappoint us in our high expectations, nevertheless, that's no reason not to hold good expectations for the rest of the folks. So we really do try to not tie them down any more than we possibly can. But on the other hand, what we especially want to do when we're looking out for your 7th and 8th graders is make sure we have those maximum planned positive interactions with the older kids and eliminate the unplanned negative ones. So that's part of what lies behind some of our logistical decisions. Anyone have any other questions? Tim,
yeah, they're popping up here. So Andrew, you want to hit this one about 7th and 8th grade chapel, where the kids will go?
Absolutely. So we're really fortunate to be able to work out with the church, with Grace Brethren, with Grace Polaris, the use of their worship center, their brand new sanctuary that they just finished not too long ago, that's connected to our building. So all chapels will have a 7th and 8th grade chapel, and then we'll have a 9 through 12 chapel, and all of those will be in the worship center at the church. And again, we're just super thankful that they're willing to let us use that space. It'll be for 7th and 8th graders, it'll be a great upgrade from the gym. And so we'll have access to the technology and the sound system and the whole deal. So that'll be really great. 7th and 8th, we'll go to chapel first on Thursdays, and then 9 through 12 will go after that.
So Buzz, to take this, there's a question on there about Chromebooks and Wi-Fi and Teams setup. The answer to that question is yes, the Chromebooks will have the functionality with Teams. 90% of what the students will do in Teams via Chromebooks can be done in the browser without the necessity to have to download the app. But relative to those Chromebooks, Buzz, I don't know if you want to break the news, but
yeah, guys, you can be the first on your block to hear this news. You know how sometimes when kids say the dog ate my homework? Well, the hurricane ate our Chromebooks. We got notification from our supplier that they were in a warehouse awaiting shipment, and that warehouse was destroyed completely by the hurricane last week, as were the Chromebooks that go with it. So we're going to be doing some interesting scrambling. I see some student jubilating in the background. The Gilbert home. Shame on you, young man. But in any case, the hurricane ate our Chromebooks, and so we're going to be scrambling to figure out what we're going to do about all this, because Chromebooks are the new toilet paper now that we're well into the second phase of the pandemic. So we'll figure something out, because as you can see by the way I conducted this meeting, we're a highly intelligent, resourceful group. So there you go. Good question. Are students in all grades going to be allowed to use their phones like the high school has previously? We were just talking about that today. Tim, Andrew, either of you?
Oh yeah, Andrew, if you want to take it, go ahead.
Yeah, so this is one of those tough things about merging two schools together. We had the high school with their policy and the middle school with our policy, and naturally things were much more strict at the middle school in terms of phone use. The high school, you know, those kids are older, so they get more responsibility and freedom. So we're really working hard to merge those and to try to make sure it's appropriate for certain grade levels. But where we're landing right now is just for all grades, we want to make sure that we keep the academic spaces as undistracted as possible. So when a kid enters the classroom and is being taught by his or her teacher, we don't want them on their phones. If the teacher gives them permission, if they're using it for class or some reason, that's up to the teacher. But we really want to protect our teachers in that way and just say, you know, we want the focus to be on the teacher and learning when they're in the classrooms. 7th and 8th graders will have some more freedom with their phones than they have previously. They'll probably be able to use them during lunch and free time and you know, passing periods maybe. But so they will have more freedom than they did before and after school, obviously. But we're really trying to focus on the idea that we're going to choose and be wise about when we use our devices and what we're using them for. So we want to keep that academic space a cell phone free zone unless teachers are using it for class.
I want to knock off a couple of these other ones real quick here with directional hallways. Yes, we're going to increase the pass time between periods. It was originally 4 minutes and now it will be 5, right? That's right, Andrew.
Yeah, so temporarily while we have some extra restrictions in the directional hallways, the kids will have a little bit more time in between class, and we'll publish that temporary schedule very soon. So unfortunately, the schedule that I went over with you with the bells and the times that are printed on the schedule will actually be a little bit different the first few days of school, first few weeks of school, however long we need to keep doing our directional hallways. We'll give them some more time. So they'll have about 5 minutes in between each class.
So Beth, to answer 2 of your questions, yes, I agree. I get lightheaded when I wear my mask as well too. So naturally I need, much like we all need, mask breaks during the day. So we're going to try to carve out time where kids can have mask breaks. So know that we're thinking about that and we're planning for that. The other question I believe you had was regarding cell phones. So students can keep cell phones with them, but put away or left in lockers. The answer is yes, they can have them on their person. But again, when we're in an academic setting, unless the instructor gives permission, those phones need to be out of sight pretty much. So hopefully that answers that question as well.
I also saw, Tim, somebody was concerned about lockers. I would really probably recommend that the younger students get lockers. Just don't refuse the one you have coming to you. Many of the older students don't use lockers. They seem bent on developing some sort of back disease later in life and aren't happy unless they're carrying around a book bag that's 50 pounds or more. But until your child reaches that level of maturational foolishness, it would be very good for them to have a locker. They'll be able to visit their locker before school, after school, and at lunch. But because of the current crisis, we're going to not ask that people go to lockers and jam up the hallway by visiting lockers in between classes.
I see a question about families. The family info for 7th and 8th graders has not been added to your schedules yet, but in the next couple of days it'll be added.
And the same is true for lockers, Andrew. Those will be added later as well.
Yeah, I think the lockers are on there. If they're not, they'll be there, like I said, in the next couple of days. But if you check your schedule, you should have a locker on there, unless you requested not to have it.
Yeah. And someone said about their senior, we're holding off on the seniors. I'm going to ask them one more time because generally speaking, seniors don't want their lockers. So we're going to check one more time with them to make sure before we assign all the way through the senior class.
Buzz, we got a question on there about, will there be time to come in and set up lockers and walk through classes?
Yes, we'll give you a schedule, but what we'd really, just out of respect to try and keep people distanced and those sorts of things, we know that some students are kind of high in anxiety and just really have to see the place before they come. And if your student's that way, that's great. Go ahead and bring them. We'll have a schedule when the building will be open for those things. Otherwise, it's going to be slow and gentle on the soft start day. And if your student is able to handle things, without seeing it first, just run it that way. But if they need it for their well-being and for yours, yes, go ahead and bring them next week. We'll have those times set up and publicized. We want to make sure all the workers are out and everything is ready to go to have people walking through the building sort of unsupervised and things. Okay. Anything else? Have we gotten anyone want to ask a question live? All right. Folks, thank you for being with us. Thank you for choosing Worthington Christian. Thank you for the sacrifice that involves. And nowadays it's even, thank you for taking a risk. We know there's nothing that's 100% safe. You and we study risk, we study rewards, we try and make the best choice possible. Try to be filled with the Spirit, try to listen to the Lord's leading. We try to lean on Him to to protect us. And yet on the other hand, we understand it's vitally important. Romans 12 tells us to be in submission to the civil authorities to wherever possible. So we try and walk that balance. Worthington Christians and any Christian school is kind of an odd place. We're primarily accountable to the Lord. That accountability is defined through the scripture. We're accountable to the local church. We're accountable to our stakeholders, our moms and dads, and students. We're accountable to the local Board of Education to some degree, the Worthington City Schools, with whom we enjoy a wonderful, wonderful, productive, non-competitive, we want you all to be successful at Worthington Christian relationship. And then of course we're accountable to the laws of the state and the nation. So there's a whole list of accountabilities, a list of things that we're always trying to balance in the name of education and trying to walk the best and the wisest and the most discerning path possible. So we always appreciate your prayers, because without your prayers we couldn't do it. And we pray for you, you pray for us, and everything ought to work out fairly well.
Buzz, I saw one question pop up that I think would be worth addressing. A new family was asking for ways to maybe outside of the school day to get in touch with other families to kind of acclimate themselves. So I don't know if you want to speak to that.
You know, to be 100% honest with you, I would say that probably this has been Worthington Christian's greatest weakness over the years. Jill Schuler, who's a parent of an upperclassman, and I believe she's got how many today? She's still 2 more in the
You got Sophie, will be a sophomore.
Yeah, okay. And she's got a real passion for that. She's got called Parent Connection. She'll be working on that at the beginning of the year. If we have a football game, who knows? There's a special place in the stadium for Parent Connection. There'll be a special place in the gym if we play basketball for Parent Connection. We're also going to work pretty hard in trying to incorporate this year to get parents and houses, like all the folks in Vita and Gratia and Fides and Vita Junior, and to connect with each other. We'll let you know who everybody else is, and perhaps that can be the the get together reason. Let's meet some kids in our families and in our house. And but I got to tell you, this has been a weak spot, and we're grateful for Jill and the vision that she's brought to this. So that's some suggestions. RenWeb's a good thing because it provides everybody's address and things like that. One of the things I tell people about WC, I say that the holes kids have the same holes that they can fall in as they have in the public school. But because we're all connected, we all know each other's names, parents know each other, we have phone numbers that are shared. The holes aren't nearly as deep because we're all in this together, and we take community parenting very seriously. So Worthington Christian's a good place to fail, because it's a great place to get back up and to grow and to be restored because of the support of the community. And when your kids have trouble, and they will, please don't feel like you're a failure as a parent. If one judges failure of one's children, one's value as a parent by the failure of their children, God is a really lousy parent, because he was 100% off with Adam and Eve. They both completely screwed up irreparably. And when you even look at the church, when you look at how fallible the church is, it's not about producing perfect things. It's about creating an environment where kids can make the best choices. It's giving them the Garden of Eden, where they can make the right choices. But it's also about making the sacrifices necessary so they can become whole again. And for us parents, what we generally often feel like we're sacrificing is our reputation or whatever. And we just got to get over that, because Satan doesn't play fair. And if everybody was good, we'd be in heaven and no one would be necessary anyway. So no judgment on our end, that's for sure. We've all raised too many kids here between us to judge anybody. So we know Satan doesn't play fair. And we've also read the last page of the book, though, and we know Jesus is going to win. So there you got a free sermon out of that one. Anything else, men and women, that we can do to serve you? Answer any questions? All right.
Can I close in prayer?
Please do, Tim. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Father, we just we commit the school year to you. We're so grateful and thankful that next week we're going to get to see kids again. We're going to get to see parents as well. Lord, this has just been a crazy, surreal time that we've been living in. But we know you're right in the midst of it. Even before the foundations of the earth were laid and you spoke it into existence, Lord, you knew in 2020 that these were the lives that we were going to live for such a time as this. So give us the wisdom, the ability to see things with your eyes, and to have your heartbeat. Lord, as we mentor and train and disciple these young people and our teachers come and put themselves on the line, God, I pray that you would keep them healthy. Lord, give them great strength, give them great energy, Lord. And I pray that this would be a year like no other. We pray for the parents and the students as well, God, as we get back into the skin of school. God, give us grace, give us mercy, give us understanding of one another. And I pray that this would truly be a community that looks after each other. Lord, that everything that we do will be brought before you and be pleasing to you, knowing full well, Lord, that our main objective here is to teach and educate and disciple these kids from a biblical worldview. We're so grateful and thankful for the opportunities you give us each day. I pray that a blessing and provision on these parents that make such great sacrifices to send their kids to the school, Lord. And your provision, protection on all of us, Lord. Just thank you for this time to meet. And Lord, we're so grateful for your son, Jesus, and his death on the cross for our sins, and the fact that we are eternal beings, we're not temporal beings. So we rest in that truth, Lord. We pray these things in your name. Amen.
All right. Well, good night, everybody. And who knows, I may be stuck here the rest of the evening because I can't end the meeting, but I think if I push this end button, that may do the trick. So here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Goodbye. Nope, nothing happened. There we go.